All right. Okay, so I think this should be relatively fine-ish. All right. Low Valor. Gotta shut down Facebook. I'm being harassed by a transphobe who literally will not shut the fuck up. Okay, so. Live. Weekly discussion stream. All right. Come on. Come on. There we go. Sharing it in a few places right now. I cannot see chat. All right. Share it one more place. Here. All right. Cool. Dollar says just finished eating, about to brush teeth, got some good news. Cool. And well, some bad. Less cool. I got dinner. I have a very good deal on some chicken pasta. Basically from the store. $4 for what amounts to like 5 dinners. I'm not used to that. There's this store that's been here for the whole time I've been here, and I only just started going to it. I regret the fact that I hadn't gone there first, because this store has good prices on quite a few things. Not everything. Some things are like manifestly better to buy at other locations, but not this one. And no, I'm not sponsored by Bargain Giant in Spokane. I just go there now. Hello, concurrent viewers. I have 2 more according to chat. Feel free to sound off. Either way, fucking basically no comment on the one video I put out this week, so we'll just be having a casual chat. But I had some meetings, which clarified some stuff, and there's going to be a lot of stuff moving forward. Basically, one of the meetings was a graphics job that's like if you want me to do your graphics work, feel free to hit me up. But basically, I'm going to be doing some graphics for a guy. So that was one of the meetings this week, and then a couple more meetings are potentially like one of them is going to be like, you know, an article and a video a week. I'm going to need y'all's support for that though, so feel free to share them, and if you really like them, feel free to sub to the Patreon. But basically, those are there, right? And so are a variety of other potential things, and I'm trying to line up some guests for the podcast as well. If you know of an anarchist with an anarchist project, feel free to hit them up and tell them that they're free to approach me with their like project, whatever they're doing, and we'll see if we can talk about it on the podcast. Jack says, painting deck spindles tonight. Won't be able to chat much. Real here on Thursday for pics, so on a time squeeze. Still listening. To be completely straight with you, I don't know what deck spindles are, so I'm Googling those. Oh. So, okay. Alright. From where I'm from, we normally just call that railing, so that's a weird way to phrase it in my book. But it makes sense. I've never heard them called deck spindles in my life. That's but I guess I get, you know, whatever gets the message across. Oh shit! I dropped my phone. Do you still work phone? Yep. Yeah, it's fucking warm. Actually, I'm gonna plug in the air conditioner. I didn't do this before because the housemate was fucking mowing the lawn exactly now. But yeah, I've never heard him called deck spindles. That should be like a weapon. Like you get somebody who's like, you know, like in a video game, like you got like special moves. You do a combo as a construction worker fighter character, and you throw deck spindles at people. I'd play that. I'd play that construction worker. You just like, you've got a big ass thing of lumber. Got a big ass thing of deck spindles. You just beat the fuck out of people with lumber, or like throw deck spindles at them, like spears. Valor says, that's an sorry, I'm back. The good news is I was actually able to talk to my partner. Her parents are sending her to some camp, and her stepmom thought I was in a cult because of my Orthodox chants. What? Oh yeah. Fucking some Gregorian chants. My exposure to cults is exclusively through Hollywood, so if I hear somebody chanting, I'm gonna say they're in a cult. What the fuck? Okay. Well, did the parents accept the explanation that in fact the reason you're doing it is because it's like the opposite of a cult? At least if you don't make the distinction between like religious, or well, if you make the distinction between religions and cults, but there is an amusing train of thought to follow down that road. Either way. He got a rush of happiness because he was happy to see her. Good. That's a sign of a healthy... Oh, I'm extremely white. Let me change that. There we go. Yeah, I got fucking Caesar bow tie pasta and chicken. I got like 5 servings of it for $4. I'm going to go back and see if I can get like 2 more of these and just be set for a few weeks. Does her dad not like Christians or something? I don't understand. Like, normally the hyper-controlling parents are, like, or, like, the hyper-controlling parents are, like, on the Christian side. Or, like, some other theocracy, right? Well, if her dad isn't, like, if her dad is a Christian and he's not okay with a Christian because he's too Christian, then that seems fucking strange to me, doesn't it? What the hell? Holy shit. What the fuck is that? And if he's not... Okay, so he's... Fucking... It's that sort of, like, weird one-upsmanship that I hated in Christianity when I was a Christian. I was like... Why are you trying to one-up somebody? You're all on the same fucking team. Like, as long as they're not, like... You know, in one of the allegedly heretical spaces, but, like, you're Orthodox. You're as close as you can get to roots as far as I, like, understand it. Unless there's something different here. Yeah, that's not a surprise. He said he's trying to convince her to put a password on her device. But her parents would want the password. Yeah. You know, not to sound old, but I didn't have to worry about this as a kid. Fucking helicopter parents watching me literally live on my phone. Are you fucking nuts? Holy shit. Because, like, I know a lot of people who are in that position. Like, they're kids in this generation, and their parents got their devices to parent the kids instead of the parents because it's easier to be lazy. It's easier to be ineffectual and fucking dumb. So, the fucking... You know... They can't, like, just parent kids. They can't just, like, have one-on-one time. They can't have the primary influence coming from the parents. They throw them in government schools. They throw them in government schools. They throw them in government daycare. They throw them in, like, government-approved, like, social facilities when they're outside of school, like the town hall, the library, whatever. They throw them in, like, you know... these mega corporate, which is just an extension of the state, like devices and realities, and allow the state to mediate the whole reality. And then instead of just parenting better, they're like, I'd better make this more Orwellian. What the fuck is wrong with people? Holy shit, they're brainwashed. Let us decide what is true for your child. No, I don't think I will. And I'm not even speaking on this from like that weird conservative bent that like demonizes trans people about this. Because the vast majority of influence on children is still not LGBT. It's just not. The vast majority of like weird sexual influence on kids is still heterosexual. Like, and non-trans, like, yeah, I'm fine with it when Disney has an adult man kissing an underage woman to break her from a curse while she's asleep. But don't put Black Little Mermaid. Don't put gay or trans character. What? Disney has been fucking weird forever. Disney has fucking sucked forever. Like, with very few exceptions, Disney is creepy as fucking hell. And you've been fine with it until LGBT. Fuck you, man. Holy shit. Shit, you know? I hate it. Anyway, have my little weird meltdown. Like, oh no, I got served by a they-them at Disneyland. A they-them greeted me at the door as a princess. I'm not concerned about the pedophilia and rape. I'm concerned about the they-them. Because I'm a bigot. That's what these people are. Plain and fucking simple. You know, I tweeted this thing out. And I feel like now would be a good time to share it. Let me pop this open here. Fucking getting this this tweet here for you, because this is, to me, the ideal way to express it. The problem, right? Here it is. Me, AI superstate, rightoids, trans in sports, nuclear Armageddon, drag queen story hour, global mandatory ID linked to everything, Bud Light, Target, Call of Duty, me, CBDC, economic crash, Disney, fascism, long as it's not them. That's where we are right now. Any flavor of authoritarianism, as long as it's not stamped with a rainbow. That's what these people want. I hate it. I hate it. And guess what? Guess what? Yet another group of people who simply didn't like me, but had no proof of this, are calling me a pedophile. These people are calling me that because I said end wokeness on Twitter shouldn't be claiming that a Led Zeppelin shirt and camo pants or stonewashed t-shirt and denim are fucking girls' clothes. 'Cause they're not! They're not! But these people are end wokeness. So anybody who wants to end wokeness will just lap up anything they said. It's fucking garbage. There is so much fucking garbage in these spaces. And I hate it. Let me actually expose y'all to this, because you should see it. It's absolutely fucking atrocious. And it got me accused of being a pedophile with child porn on my computer with exactly zero evidence. None. Just liars who didn't like that their fucking lies got criticized. That's where we are. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. That is if I can make this work. I think I can. Right? Right? Okay, well, whatever. This appears to be the right window. This isn't fucking girls' clothing. Look at this. So we've got, like, gray denim, black tennis shoes, and a stone-washed fucking t-shirt. That's masculine, motherfucker! Camo pants. Like, red and black tennis shoes, a Led Zeppelin shirt. That's not feminine. That's not girl clothing, motherfucker. And then you look over here, and oh, it's a little bit bright colors. Faith No More never existed. Look over here, a red shirt and fucking shorts. And the same black tennis shoes. Girls' clothing. The only one in girls' clothing is this one, and that doesn't fucking matter, and it doesn't express a pattern. But these people are liars. They're liars. They don't fucking care about the truth. They will stalk people's children with cameras. And they think other people are the pedophiles. What the fuck? Pardon me if I fucking hate this. What? What? How is this even remotely real? It's not! So I said, what the hell? Yo, I just laughed out loud for like a solid 10 seconds. And I did. I fucking chortled because this is fucking... it's so delusional. It's funny. The first image, the right hand two are literally grunge and thrash aesthetic. The next image, the left two are 90s alt metal aesthetic. This is mostly guy shit. What the fuck do they need to change to be more masculine? Oh, right. Cut the hair. Because hair is dressing like women now. Fuck off. There is nothing less manly than being this obsessed with other people. You fucking bitch. Anyway. I lost one of my concurrent viewers here. So I said that, you know, I said, and the third child has something in common with the other children here. It's none of your fucking business. Holy shit. Can conservatives leave children alone for even a second to wear Led Zeppelin shirt and camo without being considered part of some woke agenda? Fuck off, yo. And I mean it. So, yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. I got called a pedophile for this post. I got accused of having child porn and being satanic for this post. Fuck all of you. Holy shit. I do not care. I will lose every single one of you if it takes that to tell the truth. There is only one child here in girls' clothing, and that's fine. You don't get to police other people's clothing. Tipper Gore! It's a modern Tipper Gore. That's all it is. Gotta like put a parental advisory sticker on your Instagram posts now to say parental advisory, anti-bigoted content. God, I hate these censorious cucks. Fuck you. You only want free speech and expression when it suits you. Jesus Christ. Kara Skulk says Neo-Puritans. Yeah! For fucking real, right? Welcome, Kara. I'm exhausted. What's your name? Anyway. So, you know, that happened. Let me just scroll Twitter for a bit. I posted this image because I was just so sick of this garbage. And I got this Justin Blake being like, eye roll. I said, well, you didn't like my image, but at least you liked your own comment. Somebody replied to that, like Phil Zio. He's made music for me before, and he made something else recently that's going to be in some of my longer form content, like my more hinged, potentially, content. And he said, you know, this should be considered an NAP violation. You didn't need to execute him like that. Yeah. Again. And like, so that... There's this cunt back at it again. Remember Windmimmel, the stream a couple streams back, where I went over this fascist cunt? Look at him. Look at him again. He's like, communism has failed everywhere it's been tried. Why is that? Look at this shit. This is such garbage. He just steals other people's images, removes whatever watermark might have been there, claims it's his personal art gallery, and gets thousands of followers and much interaction. He got 12,000 likes on this piece of garbage. And what was it? Look. More fascism from your scam account, I see. The same old thing bad, new thing good garbage by literally lying about what's happening in the pics. The bottom picture is Switzerland. This picture is also Switzerland. Claiming smog does not exist in Switzerland is simply a lie. But these people don't care about fucking lying. China is state capitalism, not communism. Because of that, it does capitalist exchanges with a variety of countries, which is why it looks like that. Switzerland is one of the countries that made it that way. But this guy is a liar, so he's lying again. And I posted China's Switzerland imports. And this isn't the first time you lied either. But since everything on your Twitter is exactly the kind of propagandistic messaging Nazis would use, I shouldn't be surprised. We get it. Modernity is degenerate and communist. You can shut up now, fascist. Also, motherfuck, I hate this account. But I also hate the people who support it. Since the last time I caught this guy in a lie and stealing other people's work while removing credit, he's gotten 4,000 new followers, 4K new people supporting fascism. 4K new people supporting fascism. So, like, before he had, if you look at this, he had fucking 206, fuck, this is gonna get taken out of context. 264,000 4K people. Right? So, he had this, and now he's up to 267.8 thousand people from lying. And what did he lie about? Oh, well, Community Notes is all too happy to tell us what he lied about. When he lied about this, I said, you want to sell a course and access to a Discord server, and you're willing to lie in order to do it. I can't imagine being this pathetic, but here you are accomplishing that. Imagine enabling Western fascist empire in 2023. Could not possibly be me. So, I linked to the previous one. Right? Where is it? Right, over here. And he got corrected by community... Well, that is if I can get to the right one. There we go. He got corrected by community fucking notes. Okay? Look at it. This is a reminder that we used to build windmills that look like this, but why did we stop? And he got corrected by community notes over here. I rated this as helpful because it's helpful as fuck. The top image is of a grain windmill. The wind turns the blades, which turns a grinder. And mills the grains between millstones. The bottom image is of a wind turbine, not a windmill. Wind turns the blades like windmills, but it spins a generator generating electricity. And I went, like, way further into detail, right? That this photograph was taken in 2021, right? And that he cropped out the watermark of the photographer. The bottom image is of the whitewater wind turbines, not mills, and that's old-style construction from the 80s. They don't make them like that now. So, he lied. He just lied. And he got away with it, and he got, like, thousands more followers. Because he like, sells people on this lie that they love. Which is that if we just go back to an older time when we could treat people worse, everything would be better. That's it. That's all. And, like, that's what I was going over in my video recently, my anti-Nazi video, where I went over the fact that this is the kind of thing that Hitler did in the Degenerate Art Museum. He would literally do this. He would point and say, these are the problems. Look at these Jews and these black people. They're the problems. That's Hitler's mentality. Just point to a minority, get people distracted, and then while they're distracted, muscle through totalitarian control. Plain and simple. Hello to the 5 concurrent viewers. Welcome to this hot mess of a stream. Anyway. Yeah, the first one, where for simply saying that other people's kids aren't end wokeness's business and saying that end wokeness was literally lying, that the other 2 kids were dressed in girls' clothing, I was called a pedophile and accused of having child porn. Okay, so now that we're back on track, Valor's like, do people not know Jesus had long hair? Yeah, it's almost like they just don't like history, truth, reason. They like to pretend that like the gender thing is new when Two-Spirit and other sorts of like, you know, gender expression like non-traditional stuff has existed in other traditions for a long time. Hi, Minty. Hey, if you want back on the server, let me know. Kara says, I don't think he had to muscle all that hard. It's not like Germany has a long history of liberalism. Well, I don't know. To me, that they're sort of a prime example of liberalism. They're just like not a nice liberalism. Like neoliberalism includes the encouragement of Pinochet, you know? I feel like liberalism and fascism go pretty hand in hand for certain applications. And that's why I'm just a radical extremist over here saying liberalism, fascism, you know, state communism. I'm not going to support any of these boots on any necks. Anarchy or bust. Oh yeah, I need to go check live chat. I didn't turn it on live chat. I'm fucking probably missing things. Jack Curtis says vampire repellent spindles. Yeah. Just put some holy water on the outside of it. Oh. Okay, so I didn't read the screen time bit. Yeah. Totalitarian parenting, preparing them for technocratic fascism where they'll be constantly watched and monitored and controlled. Yep. 2 hours screen time. That's hilarious. Just be more interesting, motherfucker. If you're so, like, paranoid about your kid being on a device, stop letting the devices parent your kids and be more fucking interesting and spend more time with them. Instead of like, ooh, you can't just limit your screen time. Fuck you. Holy shit. Jeez, I hate it. Valor says he hasn't gotten his worker's permit yet. He should have gotten it a few days ago. And he should have gotten employed today. Well. He really wants the job. It'll be a nice way to get out of being at home all day. And wants to go to a library and learn about Islam. But my family forbids Islam and hates Muslims. At least I think so. My mom said Muslims kill Americans. I mean, some of them have done that. But Americans have killed Muslims too. You know, and Russians have killed Muslims. And plenty of people have killed Muslims. And Israelis are currently killing Muslims. And what? What? Ukrainians are currently killing Muslims. They literally greased up bullets with lard and said that it was to shoot, like, Kadyrov orcs, I think they said, in that official National Guard post. That Azov, the Nazis, were greasing up bullets with lard to shoot at orcs. So yeah, Muslims are violent. So is everybody else. The world is soaked in blood. Either bathe in it or start protesting, Mom. How about that? Jesus. Have a blindfold over their eyes and plugs in their ears when it comes to anything good about Islam. And another bad thing, I keep getting into arguments with my adult friend, and earlier we got into a big argument and he wanted me to block him after all I did for him because he vents to me and is suffering. No, it's probably not gonna work. But like, you know, just to be clear, if it's the same adult that threw corn at you, I wouldn't talk to him anymore after that. What the hell was that? Valor says, "Oh yeah, some more news. Today I got messages by a troll asking for help, then proceeded to try and get into a relationship with me. He told me if I don't become his BF, he will slit his throat and leave my Discord tag on his note and tell people I blackmailed him." Send me screenshots of that. I want to put that person on fucking blast. Because nobody should talk to that person. That person's psycho. Holy shit. What the fuck? Motherfucker got me up talking. I don't do that. Recently, I've learned to tell people that if they hurt themselves over me not doing something, it's their fault and not mine. It's hard for me to say, but it's true and it needs to be said. Yeah, that was already a lot for me to talk about. Well, if you do want to come back, Minty, you're welcome to. Like, you know where to find me. I understand, though, completely. Like, it's exhausting. I'm drained. I have fucking eye bags right now from just what I've dealt with today. Jack says Hawaiian igloo supremacy. Fuck the New World Order. Yeah. Minty says I found out Ted K died today. Yeah, I posted about that. Let me bring up my tweets here. Probably? Yeah, here we go. So, I posted, Ted K wrote an essay which was a version of an old Plato allegory, Ship of Fools. In it, he criticized the divide and conquer agenda that the elites are enacting so that they can get away with destroying everything and killing the human spirit while we fight each other. He saw society as a ship heading toward an iceberg, while people don't care about the course of the ship as long as their issues seem addressed in the moment. He saw that iceberg as the advancement of a technological civilization which will slowly destroy humanity and more. Much of what he said was completely accurate, and he would criticize pretty much everyone. And that's exactly what you should do. No group is beyond reproach. All groups have something to learn and a way to improve, and we have to or we all lose. Not just now, but forever. So, that's my take. Jack says, Minty, it's a happy day. 30 years in a concrete box was not the life Uncle Ted wanted. Well, to be clear, though, if he wanted to off himself, he could have done it. Like, I'm not saying anybody should, before anybody gets the wrong idea about that statement. I'm saying clearly he thought life was worth enough living to not do it. Like, if this guy could make what he made, then he could probably fashion something to off himself if he wanted to. I don't think he wanted to. Just to be clear. Valor says, I can't. He deleted all the messages, but I do have a screenshot of him trolling me, but I didn't get the message. On June... well, that's unfortunate. Every time something like that happens, immediately screenshot it. Holy shit. Let me put him on motherfucking blast, yo. Liberimer says, I hate the ATF 3 times. Yes. Minty says, didn't Ted have terminal cancer? I remember hearing about that. Yes. I believe that's what he died of. Valor says, on June 12th, the Apostles' Fast is coming up. During that, I'm limiting my time on social and focusing on God and reading the Bible. I'm excited for the fast. The evening is tomorrow. Well, I wish you well on that. So is that a, like, multi-day thing, or is that just a one-day thing? I do not know Orthodoxy. Kara says, NYT reporting suicide. Oh! Ted K. suicide? I'm seeing things from the past that he may have tried to hang himself. But Twitter, Ted Kaczynski died by suicide. It's one of those breaking news accounts. Yeah, I don't see any fucking proof that he did. I mean, can you send me a link? I'd be interested. Send me a link. I'm for sure interested. Valor says it's a 6-week fast. It's a long fast. I'll still join streams though, but I'm going to be getting off Discord and stuff. Ah! Well, do what you gotta. Oh yeah, I've been talking to 051 in private for a while, and he has made me feel a lot better about some things. Very good conversations with him about our churches as well. Ah! Yeah, I'm actually let me tag somebody. Jester BT dub convo stream is up and Valor is talking orthodoxy. But yeah, Minty says, BT Dub, is Dan still giving you trouble, or has she gone silent? So the thing about Dan is that she waits for things to blow over, assumes people don't care anymore, and then walks away. Who's been giving me trouble isn't Dan, but Dan's acolytes, who've probably been chatting with Dan in some sort of concert. So there are two people in question. There's Silent Sinner, and there's a Space XMC Kitty. Neither of these people have the stones to be ethically consistent and oppose Dan the same way for the same stuff that they oppose other people for. But they're totally willing to, like, really tightly police who I associate with. They're totally willing to really tightly police who other people associate with. They will watch other people like a fucking hawk. But their own associations, their own friends, those people get thrown under the bus as soon as those people go against them. It's like narcissistic sociopathy, and it definitely needs to stop. But Dan, specifically, tries to do as much in the background as possible. I don't know if you remember this, but when I defended UV all those years back, when I defended him, she was, like, sending people after him, right? Other people. She wasn't personally really going that hard in the paint against him, right? So when she, like, sent people after him, they did her dirty work. And when I defended him, the same people were sent after me eventually to do her dirty work. So, oh, by the way, everyone, make sure to like the video if you like the video. But basically, that's what happened. Is like Dan, that always happens with Dan. She'll send people after people. She will use other people's influence and use them as proxies. She used Molly. She used Jester. She used Paul. She used Farrell. She used, like, everyone associated with her. Everyone was just hers to be used. That's what Dan is. So, no, Dan specifically isn't giving me trouble right now, but Dan's little bitch boy buddies are. And it's a problem. They are not willing to be consistent at all. Oh, and also Dantavox. I forgot to mention him. You know, like telling somebody you don't like DMs when that's the only way they can reach you. What the fuck, dude? Like, yeah, okay, Minty. I guess you weren't here for that. Um, Basically, everybody like in that core Twitter group is now on my side, and there are only a few stragglers, like Space, Benji, and Silent Sinner, who are still on Dan's side. So, yeah, yeah, that's the fact there. Um, like Jester literally drew me a persona, and it's a good one, unlike what Dan draws, which is the same shit over and over, and it's not very good. Yeah, Benji likes Dan, Valor. I thought you knew that. Benji's been on Team Dan for a while now, constantly sucking her up. Did you not know that? Did you think Benji was like... Because Benji, like, literally joined Team Dan when it was advantageous because he was associated with the Cass Warfox crowd. And the Cass Warfox crowd was being bigoted and violent and generally fucking awful to me and multiple other people. And he left my server because I, dared to ask him, hey, do you mind defending your alleged friends from these lies? If you're going to call them friends, maybe defend them from these lies. And he left. He says, I'm done, and left. Oh, no! Fucking... utterly pathetic. Mm-hmm. Minty says he joined Dan when Jeremiah was being dogpiled by a bunch of antis. Yep. Valor says, I used to like Benji, TBH. I used to feel sorry for him. Like, during the beginning of knowing him, I thought that he was just a psychologically compromised person who still lived with his parents because he couldn't launch. And I thought that there were ways that he could probably become better. Like, stop being so dependent on them. Stop being so, weak. Because he's weak as fuck, yo. Get his finances under his own control. Get his life under his own control so that he can move out of his parents and not have to deal with them anymore. Because he's an adult. He's a grown-ass dude, I was trying to help him so much, and then eventually he just told me to stop trying to help him. He said, I'm just trying to vent. I don't want your advice. So I stopped giving it to him, and eventually he said, nobody cares about me. No, it's just I know that if I give you advice, you're just going to bite my head off. And if I ask you to do anything outside your comfort zone, you're going to bite my head off. So I don't want to fucking talk to you, man. So he joined a bunch of these, bigots who didn't like being held accountable and a bunch of other shit. And, fucked off. Because a small amount of accountability drives that sort of person fuck nuts. Hello, Stein. He says, can confirm Dan is like that. I dealt with her too. Valor says, I've dealt with that too with my adult friend, Jeremiah. Yeah. I have no doubt. I've dealt with the same thing. Minty says, I remember Benji always got a little aggressive when we tried to help him. Snake Jones says a man is way more than not living with your parents. Sure, yeah. But that would be like a baseline, is like trying to get away from dependence, right? I would think. And also, hello, Snake Jones. Because, I'm all about, trying to move up, get stronger, get clean, get sober, get fit. And he was psychologically compromised as fuck, living where he did, surrounding himself with the people he did, constantly avoiding accountability like he did. Like, he's one of those bitches who will block people, and then when they say something about him, he will unblock them to reply to them or quote their tweet and then reblock them. Valor says, I need to learn to become more loving. I've been kinda hateful from my past doings. I need to calm down a bit. My conversion has helped me a lot with learning self-restraint. Good. Valor says you should be the next Andrew Tate, but good. If I got Andrew Tate's numbers without doing Andrew Tate's scum, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. I would definitely take that. I doubt I will. But there's only one way to find out. And I've got to absolutely powerhouse my content so that I don't have to scam vulnerable dudes into accepting my methodology. Snake Jones says, I spent years running support groups for addicts and their parents. It's something we deal with culturally here. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. Like, it's sort of not a surprise that somebody who sort of fails to launch would develop dependencies in other ways. With him, his dependency, I think he probably was a compulsive eater. I think he probably, was addicted to social media in a very terminally online way. Because he didn't go outside a whole lot. I think he had strong issues with, like, that caged-in mentality where you think you can't escape your circumstances, so you justify that lack of, like, movement. And then he found other people who were as terminally online as he was, and then it didn't matter what they did to people, other people he considered friends, he would still join those people. Stein says, Benji stressed out a friend of mine who is in a system by inviting Dan and all her friends to a server to yell at the system, and the system had a split. Not surprised. And I bet Benji isn't sorry for that either. Snake says, it's okay, we love him. I lived in my mom's basement till I was 30, found myself broke and homeless in Skid Row. Best thing that ever happened to me. Well, you hit rock bottom and you came back up, though. Like, what are you doing now? I'm curious. Let's see if we got a success story on our hands. I lived with my parents for a bit there. Like, I'm not just saying that, like, I'm not saying I'm perfect in this regard. There were times in my life where I was in lows, right? I was very low. I'm just saying that you need to want to improve. Fucking awesome. Snake says, I have a 33-acre little homestead now. Good. And a sugar mama. I assume you mean a Mrs. But you're a stabler now, so that's good. Minty says, I remember Benji unfollowed Carb Leader when she made a joke about a face reveal. That was funny, yeah. Yeah, I just don't like that whole crowd. Like, Benji is like this weird barnacle that will latch on to whoever will let him be maladaptive. Fucking Space has strong issues with consistency and will consistently have meltdowns in a public Telegram channel and her private Twitter because people aren't doing exactly what she wants. And the Telegram is supposed to be an evidence channel about somebody, but it's so often just her venting her garbage. And Silent, like, he's at least useful, but he also sides with Dan, and I cannot abide that. After all the shit Dan did, like, working with pedophiles, working with the bigots, working with whoever you work with, just because your image might be a little bit sweaty after some people called you out on being a terrible person, that's nobody should associate with this. But they do because they like her terrible art that she posts on Instagram. Snake says, I see you're discussing online friends. These people are not friends. One of them used to claim to be one. One of them, says he wants to be. But he also behaves like a sociopath whenever I try to hold him to account for anything. And we're talking like, semi-prominent people in certain circles. Like, the chick that these people are supporting, Dan, she's got 100,000 Instagram followers, yo. And, like, that's why she tried to, like, destroy people, because she wants to keep that. It gets her donations. Stein says, Dan misuses her platform so much. Yep. Valor says, I did horrible things when I was younger. I wasn't very mature back then, and I acknowledge it. Eh. He still has the guilt of wanting to help Jane when she was lying about being in a bad home. Shit happens. Snake, it says, well, life isn't about making friends. Sounds harsh, but it's true. Yep. Yeah, I'm not... not to sound like a reality show star, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to, like, post truth. And if people don't like it, they can fuck off. Valor says, I know a similar person, Jeremiah. He threatened to dox me and my friends, and when I confronted them, they blamed it all on their mental disorder and their abusive family. And then they ran away and blocked everyone. Not surprised. Jester says, Dan misuses minors too. Yep. Yeah, Jester is a minor, and Dan used her as this weird, like, weapon against other people. And then Dan's friend called a fucking minor running, like, a rival account an underage plaything. These people are not serious about justice. These people are hack fucking losers who got some social clout off content they didn't produce, work they didn't do. Jester says, I hate people who blame shit on their mental disorders or trauma as an excuse. Yeah. I am an unmedicated bipolar. I have severe dysomnia because of my disorders, fucking ADHD, some PTSD mixed in there for good fucking flavor. I've got so much fucked up in here, and yet somehow I didn't do all the shit Dan did. I didn't do all the shit Benji did. I didn't do all the shit these people who fucked with me did. It's called, like, having restraint and, developing humanity. Oh, okay. Jester says it was Dan herself that said that on the, the transphobic L screenshot account. Yeah. Jester says Dan is actually bipolar too. Ah. Well, as a bipolar, I can definitely say that Dan is not a representative. Ballard says, my friend confronted them about their past actions, and all they replied was was a dot, then boom, everyone's off their friends list. Snake Jones says, it's amazing just how emotionally immature people actually are today. Because they get clout for it. People will congratulate them in their social circles. It's such garbage. Kara says, mental illness is not one's fault, but it is one's responsibility. Yep. Also, if you're new to this stream, hello. Welcome to my insane ramblings. I do this once a week. Liberimer says, do you hate the ATF? Yes, I do. Valor says, what's the ATF? The Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. They murdered people at Waco, and they routinely also murder other people because they aren't meeting the government's standards on weapon ownership or things like that. They're a bunch of bitches with badges who, like, help the state control people. Snake says, my uncle is a BATF special agent, I think retired? I'm not sure what RET means. I didn't hate him. Waco ended his career. Well, I can't help you there. I do. All the good agents left because of Operation PatCon stuff. So, Snake says trauma is a gift, and Jester says it's not a gift. My trauma is stuff I'd never wish on anyone. I agree with that. It can be useful, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a gift. Although you can consider your trauma a gift if you want. Obviously, everybody is up to, like, it's up to them how they respond to what happens to them. Jester says Jeremiah's racking up them viewers. Hopefully. Hopefully. Because I make content all fucking week. And I'd like to think that I make content that people can come here for and, like, have a reasonable conversation. I sort of want to be, like, a reasonable alternative to all these streamers who just start saying garbage because they can get away with it. Waco, Texas was a place that was held by Branch Davidians, which were a cult, just to be clear. But they also had a bunch of, let's just say, less than ethical practices that eventually translated out into being the target of international scrutiny and investigations. But they also had a bunch of shit in their place, and it was a fully built compound. It was self-sufficient, right? So there were things like it, like guns in that place, and when they lit the place on fire, suddenly things ignited. And those things that ignited burned the whole place down and a bunch of women and children, and then the ATF posed outside for pictures on the smoldering corpses. Not exaggerating. And that's just one of the many things they did. Jack says, still here, still painting. Well, hello. Jack says, sorry for the uptick in viewers. My FBI, CIA, and ATF agents are required to watch what I watch. And I got a fucking Punisher shirt on, so they're doubly upset with me. I'm influencing vigilante justice. Jester says, I learned a lot from what I've been through, but I'd give anything for a mother who loved me. Yeah. Parental trauma is some of the deepest. Stein says, I have NPD, autism, and I learned restraint too. Was one of the most helpful things I learned TBH. Dan needs to learn some restraint and how to manage yourself before speaking. Yes, also, NPD is treatable. It's not a genetic thing or something. It's like something you got and you can get ungot. Valor is 15 and a half today. And Snake Jones says, my buddy Ryder just did an interview with a Branch Davidian on Raised by Giants. Make sure you listen to it. Yeah, well, I will definitely look that up. I've never heard of Raised by Giants or this Ryder guy. You're free to, I don't know who you are elsewhere on social media, but you're free to send me a link to that. Hello, Earth Nerd. Liberimer says, all I need to be happy is estrogens and 762 by 39, because the bigots are scary. Yep. Valor says, orthodoxy helped me learn self-restraint. Yep. Jack says, vigilante justice is justice. Agreed. And fuck cops. Kara says, BTW, did you get the Teg K link? Where did you send that? Did you send it on Twitter? Let me check. I haven't been back on Twitter. Yeah, I don't... Where did you send that? One moment. I will definitely check that once I find out where it is. I don't see it in Discord. I don't see it on Twitter. Where beest thou? Snake says, I was here when you started your channel in 2020. Ah, well, hello. I apologize if I'm not remembering a name. I deleted all my social media a year ago. I'm down to just YouTube now. Well, you are free to, let me look. What was that? You can send me an email. Do you have email? Let me post, I'm insanityisfree at protonmail.com. You can reach me there. Yeah, I don't see a link anywhere from Kara. Valor says, I got into a show called Welcome to Night Vale, and it's so cool. I like the songs. I want to watch it with you or 051 or another friend. Well, that's been around. That was around like 4 years ago. That's interesting. Jester says, I've always been Orthodox. The people in my church actually helped me. I had a hard time believing anyone cared for me, but my church friends were there for me and always welcomed me with open arms. Ah! Earth Nerd says, hi Jeremiah, I'm cooking gizzards. Good to hear. Nutrients. Oh. Kara says she's posting in chat. YouTube chat is AIDS. You probably have to find me somewhere else. Probably also forgetting your socials. So you can find me places. I don't know how you want to do that. Valor says, that's good, Jester. I kind of wish I was born into Orthodoxy, but I don't regret being a Hellenist. I don't think I want to go back to Orthodoxy. Or I like Orthodoxy better. LeBarimer says, Minnesota is changing its state flag, claiming it's a genocidal mess, which, like, cool, I agree. It's an ugly genocidal mess. What do you think about that? Let me... Minnesota flag. Minnesota. Needs your help to... yeah. Let me look up their efforts right here. Hideously boring at a distance, hideously racist up close. Flags tell you at a glance where you are. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. All right. So, that article isn't very good. Let me look at this one to see, because honestly, I've never looked at the Minnesota state flag too closely. It's not an effective flag. It's not popular. A lot of people don't know we have a flag. Said Lee Harold, who owns Herald Flags in Rochester. That's not a good situation when you live in a state and you don't even know what your own state flag looks like. Yeah, I've never seen the fucking Minnesota flag. The flag is problematic, and I lay it out there as a simple truth so it can be seen from eyes that are different from most of the immigrants, he told his House State Government blah. A cluttered genocidal mess. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's not good. In the Minnesota flag, Minnesota breaks all the rules. In the Minnesota flag, there are 3 dates. There's the state tree, the state flower, there's a motto, there's a scene with the river and St. Anthony Falls, and there's a farmer, there's an Indian. You can't remember them all. A flag is moving, so it has to be very simple, very direct, and it has to have 1 or 2 symbols and be very distinctive. Okay, so it looks like it's not even going to happen until 2024. But, yeah, sure, change it. I don't care, though, because, like, the state is genocidal on its own, so it doesn't change anything for me. Alright. I think church can be a great way for people, not everyone, to learn to be kinder. Jester says it depends on the churches you go to. Yeah. Definitely not Westboro. Liberimer, I personally think it's kind of odd that we are focusing on a goddamn flag design now when gun rights are under attack, queer rights are under attack, black people are still jailed at an alarming rate. Yeah. But it'll be a nicer flag on the outside of that jail, so... Minty says, Inshallah, may America perish in the fiery pits of hell. Fowler says, I like Bible Illustrated, Orthodox banter with Bojan Theoria and Let's Talk Religion. Religion for Breakfast and Ready to Harvest their good religious channels. I have never heard of any of that. Jester says, it doesn't matter if you are born into Orthodoxy or convert. What matters most is your relationship with God and being kind. The Barimer says, and Native Americans still live in poverty on reservations at a disproportionate rate. Yeah. Valor says, I want to be baptized in Christ-mated soon. I also want to become a monk, maybe. Minty says, God isn't real. God isn't real? That's freaking pseudoscience, my dude. Did you even read the series? Reddit anti-theist. Snake says, I did the monk thing, Valor. When you hit 18, that's your time. Minty says, Valor, go to the Sentinelese Islands for your first mission? I don't know what that's a reference to. The Barimer says, I had a power surge right after Jeremiah started reading my Minnesota flag comment back, so I missed all of that back now, though. Well, gist is that, you know, it's fine if they want to. I don't care if they do or not, because the state is inherently genocidal, so it doesn't change anything. The memes of destruction are here. Hello. Mostly just shooting the breeze. I do a weekly discussion stream, so if y'all want to show up, you're free to. It'll be over in about 24 minutes, but currently going at fairly good steam here. Stein asks, what exactly is going to church like? I personally have never experienced it. It depends on the church. I've had very bad experiences with church. Alexander Hersier says, cool. Well, hello. Yeah, I do one of these every week. It's Saturday at 5:30. So, well, 5:30 Pacific. So if you want to show up, you can. You're free to. Minty says, I remember going to Catholic church when I was young. I was very confused and didn't know what I was being taught. Jester says, that largely depends on the church. For me, it's like walking into like as much like heaven as we can make it, at least where I go. Ah! The Barimer says, what do you think about the ATF pistol brace rule non-compliance? Good. Everybody should just say no to these people. If everybody just said no, it's like that old cartoon, you know, like the politicians have their platform teetering over a precipice, and they need us all standing on that platform to give it enough weight. If they lose enough gravity, people stop taking their orders seriously, people stop doing what they say, they won't have power. I mean, they'll have still the mechanisms that they've built, and they have built a fuck ton of mechanisms to enforce compliance between now and the ultimate thing. But if people are willing to fight back, there's so many fewer of them than there are of us. LeBarimer says, I've seen numbers between 10 and 40 million pistol braces were sold. Only 255K got registered by June 1st, which was the deadline. Jester says, there's stained glass windows that look like clouds being illuminated by the sun with beautiful icons everywhere. When I go early, it's like there's no barrier between me and God. That's an interesting way to think about it. We didn't have stained glass in our... Well, we had one window, but we didn't have that kind of thing. Like, we would fucking do church in a gym. So, it was a lot less inspired. Jack says, my mom was the DRE, Director of Religious Education at the Catholic Church I grew up in. Not a good look when your 14-year-old son starts questioning the faith outright in the church. That's my experience, except not Catholic. Jester says, I go to a huge church, at least building-wise. It's beautiful. I'll send you some photos. Snake says, those stained glass windows are a high spiritual technology. Liberimer says, non-denominational is just code word for Baptist half the time. This was not Baptist, but they still had fire and brimstone tendencies, and they literally raised me to be a fire and brimstone pastor, so... And now I talk about apocalypse and conspiracy theories. Who'd have thought that... What is your Christian theologian tier list? I don't have a tier list because, like, yeah, I don't know. Tolstoy would probably be at the top of it if there was one. But mostly just, there are so many fucking false prophets. So many people who just aren't there for it. Let me read you a short list of false prophets in the church. Is free. Joel Osteen. So, Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland, Ken Ham, T.D. Jakes, Joyce Meyer, Brian Houston, Pat Robertson, Jesse Duplantis, Jerry Saville, Creflo A. Dollar, Paul and Jan Crouch, and Mark Barclay. Y'all probably recognize some of those as frauds, but if you didn't, I can go into them. Valor says, what do you think of J-Dubs? My friend's a J-Dub. I love him, but I don't really agree with his denomination. I don't. I used to invite them into my home to fuck with them. Back in my less, fucking less sensitive days. Oh! Pat Robertson died? Based. Let me look this up. fucking... Pat Robertson sucked so much. Massively corrupt. I think multi-billionaire by the time he died, if I remember correctly. Pat Robertson... Is Pat Robertson a billionaire? Okay. Okay, so he's just at 100 million. I overestimated. Sorry, Pat. Kara is going to get her husband to send me the link on Twiltor. Oh, okay. So, alright. Well, hello, Liberty apologist guy. And wife, apparently. Or, yeah, probably wife. I don't know, I don't want to misgender you. I am sensitive to trans issues. But, yeah. Looking this up there. Dies by sources say. Well, if sources say it, then that's always true. Let me look at this. We got... I don't know. This will probably still work. Nope. Email reveal. I'm glad I was on my social tab. So, properties. There we go. Then I can do that. Kaczynski is said to have died by suicide in prison. The man known as the Unabomber had been transferred to a federal prison medical center in 2021 after more than 25 years at a maximum security facility. I don't do sources say. Let me look at this. FBI was notified about his death. The office of the chief. Circumstances of suicide are unclear. That would have been what you should have headlined with, New York Times. Fucking New York crimes. Do y'all remember when New York Times helped lie people into war multiple times? Yeah, those were the days. This is what you lead with if you're not a hack. You say, the circumstances of his suicide are unclear, and it is uncertain whether prison officials could have done more to ensure his safety. But the self-inflicted death of another high-profile inmate 4 years after the accused sex offender... Why did you have to mention that, you cunt? What the fuck? God! Alright, everybody needs to like and subscribe to this video, and everybody needs to sub to my Patreon, because clearly there needs to be a shift in journalism away from hacks like this. And why did you bring up Jeffrey Epstein, you cunt? Holy shit. That's totally unnecessary. What the hell? Troubled, chronically understaffed prison system. Stop sending so many people to prison. Stop creating a society that makes people criminals. And don't complain that you don't have enough people to enforce your garbage. Fuck you, New York Times, you liberal, complacent piece of shit! God, I hate this article. Look at this. Why do they have Epstein here? It's about Kaczynski, you cunt. Jeez. Oh, and James Bulger as well. Whitey Bulger. What? Let's just do a thing about every person who's died in prison so that our article is longer and we fucking pad our resume. God, I hate him. I hate New York Times. Fuck New York Times. Fuck you. Ah! Oh, I'm going to avoid saying something because I will be suspended. I lost 5 viewers for yelling, I guess. Bye. Fucking... Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, Kara, I wasn't lashing out at you, just to be absolutely clear. I was just saying I don't like New York Times, not you guys. Jack says, Joel Osteen is sent by God. The mat is above saints. Snake says, later, gotta close the barn up tonight with my night vision, watching all the action going on above our heads. Liberimer says, my granddad got upset when he heard the news, which I don't get why a Catholic was into Pat Robertson, but cool. Wow. Kara says a bigot masquerading as a caring Christian. Assuming you're talking about Pat Robertson, but yes, absolutely. Valor says, I saw a fucking tweet on Twitter saying, Tucker, pray for us, and it was a photo of Tucker Carlson with a halo. Yeah, I saw that. That was garbage. Alexander says, trust the sources. Yeah, for sure. He also, yeah. Liberimer says, because a vast majority of Catholics don't understand the religion in the slightest, being Catholic to most people just means eating a communion wafer on Christmas and Easter and not eating meat on Good Friday. The Catholics that actually understand and know their religion are in the smallest minority. I was one of them. It's true he committed suicide. Source, I was there, Minty says. Yeah, right? And excuse the Holodomor via Duranti. Valder says, also I learned about the Greek Orthodox Church having a ban on baptizing a gay couple's kids. Not surprised. The Berimer says, Catholics won't even baptize bastards. Local priests refused to do it several times and refused to baptize my cousins unless their parents got married. Earth Nerd says, not the New York Times behaving in a way that drove him in the direction he went. Kara says, yes. Liberimer says, my take on this, though, is fuck infant baptism. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah, you're going to make a choice like that for an infant. Baptism is supposed to be a personal decision where you decide that you don't want to walk in sin anymore. A fucking infant can't. It doesn't work. Minty says, why exactly did they bring him up in the article? Because they're hacks, and they wanted it to be longer and more sensational, and they also wanted it to hit more SEO. Like, okay, here's a little bit of behind the curtains as somebody who does fucking website shit. If you guys need a simple business website, hit me up. I can make a website for the right price. But as somebody who does like website shit for a fucking like partly living, and who has my own website and who has had my own website for fucking years, I can tell you that the reason it's so hard to find news articles or an image or any sort of fucking result you want is because they will jam as many fucking keywords into a fucking article as they can. And put as many fucking tags and fucking categories on this article as they fucking can. And then, when you're trying to find an article, you can't, especially if it's a really old article. And you're forced to, like, get a bunch of articles which index in search results from the sidebar the result you're looking at. So, it thinks you want this result, because this result is gaggled up with a bunch of other results. And it's garbage, and it results in garbage. But they keep doing it because they want people to find it in the moment, make it trend. So they don't care that they're fucking it up for literally the entire future. And it's the worst with news websites with so many like extra news articles in the fucking sidebar. And like the bottom, the top. Click, 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 click. Keep your attention here. Your attention here. Your attention here. And then, while they do that, while they fuck you over in this regard, while they fuck you over by making it so hard to find news, they will then tell you what the news is and hope you don't look at their old archives or things on archive.org and figure that out. Which is why the mainstream media and corporate press are attacking Internet Archive right now. And why Internet Archive lost their recent lawsuit, because mega corporations don't like their stuff being archived by people who will keep it publicly available and permanent, especially since mega corporations and the state like them some book burning. It's fascism. All right. Minty says, that's like writing about Cornel West dying and randomly bringing up R. Kelly. Yeah! Just go into the archives and see how some of the news industries praised Hitler. Yeah! Time Person of the Year, motherfuckers! You want people to cast their eyes away from that, don't you? You want you to cast your eyes away from the Associated Press and how the Associated Press literally worked with and ran cover for the Nazis, helping them wash their actions with propaganda pieces. You want them to forget how all the mega corporate allies have been keeping us in chains and keeping our minds enslaved. They want you to forget all of this and how the corporate press would endorse Hitler and Bin Laden and the Ukrainian Nazis for years, even though they were terrible people and they were truly wicked. They want you to forget all these facts that were inconvenient to their present narrative, and they want you to say, hey, let me suck whatever boot you come trending with next. And you need to burn this mentality out of your mind. You need to burn this mentality out of your skull. Because otherwise, it will burn you first and burn out your freedom from your space. Put you in chains. Shackle you to mammon. You like my fucking fire and brimstone preaching there for a bit there? I still got it. Liberimer says, what's your take on Augustinian original sin? Valor says, I think I'm going to baptize my kid when they're older, but it's a part of my religion. Berimer says, if your religion holds tenets that you find disagreeable, Valor, get a new religion. Valor says, fair. I get why someone would be against infant baptism, and that's fine. Liberimer says, but you support it? Valor says, I'm okay with it, I suppose. I just think it's counterproductive. I don't think it works if it does anything. And I also think that a Christian walk should be a walk with God. It's personal. It shouldn't be a matter of, like, I have to put water on my baby or consequences. What? What consequences? Any God that would take any action against a fucking baby because you didn't put water on it, like sprinkle, or because you didn't dunk it in a pool of fucking water, is not a loving God. And I don't think that's the case with this one. Do ya? I'm just gonna say. Kara says, history begins anew each day by the authoritarians. That it does. She also says, Augustine created a solution for a problem that didn't exist. Also true. Minty says, don't some sects of Judaism practice infant circumcision? Yes, but also so do a bunch of other people. And, you know, atheist hospitals, too. I was circumcised, unfortunately. You know, I mean, it's scientifically proven now that it fucks up your mind. It's scientifically proven now that it puts you immediately into a state of trauma and shock and, like, causes psychological problems later in life. You know, and it's certainly non-consensual. Like, all these conservatives crying about, like, you know, mutilating kids' genitals, that's not new, motherfuckers. And if you're going to go against it, you should go against the primary form of it, which is circumcision. Like, leave our kids alone only extends to this particular issue? Yeah, sure, you're a bigot. Fuck you. Earth Nerd says, I think religion and spirituality don't have to be religious cramps. Religious cramps. I'm sorry, babe, I got the religious cramps. I think religion and spirituality don't have to be rigid camps you must hop between. So the archives had started to be sued like the middle of last year, and I covered that on my YouTube channel. And then they basically succeeded in a lawsuit now. Like, huge publisher houses have succeeded in suing the Internet Archives, and the Internet Archives is like getting you know, action taken against them if they can't file an appeal or an injunction or a stay or whatever. Either way, I got about 3 minutes left. So is there anything y'all want to talk about? If there is, let me know. Otherwise, got some stuff I'm going to be pushing tomorrow. Got some stuff I'm going to be pushing in general. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Throw money at, like I say in my fucking descriptions of these, like, feel free to throw me some money if you like throwing money down large pits. You know, options. I'm going to tweet something right now, though. Our sources say that our sources are correct, comma. And those sources also are included in an article where we talked about other prison suicides for some reason, comma, and it couldn't at all be because of sensationalism and yellow journalism, comma, because we're the New York Times, comma, and we're reputable, period. Trust us. Yeah, I'll send you a link to the server, Minty. One moment. And also, yeah, I'll finish with trust us. Thanks for the link, comma. Needed a laugh, period. What do I think of Scientology? It's a scam. There's a reason a lot of mega corporate celebrities and politicians are into it, and it's because it's a massive control system. They're not actually, like, a lot of them don't even believe it. They're just there because they get involved in the control scheme and they get to be a part of the corporate racket that runs behind the scenes. It's like a golf club. Like, most of the people who, like, you know, they're at golf clubs, they don't they don't care about golf. They're not there to fucking golf. They're there to have a corrupt business deal. They're there to have a quiet conversation with no mics. That's what they're there to do. You know, they're there to launder money through a golfing organization. They're there to, it's a lot simpler than, so I feel like that's what Scientology is. I think it's to filter people through that. Valor says there's a church of Scientology outside my grandma's apartment. Ask them if they'll loan you their Engram machine. LeBarimer says, what do you think about Ivor Robotnik as a villain in his development within the theology of the Church of Spiritology? I think the fact that the comics fleshed him out a lot more made him a lot more interesting. And the transition from being somebody who was good and trying to bring goodness to the world to somebody who became evil because of what he made is an interesting thing, to say the least. Alexander says, oh, and to make a shitload of money, Scientology is very expensive. Yes. Kara says, created by a dude who was too extreme for fucking Crowley. Yep. Their Engram machine, Valor. They test your fucking spiritual energy. They test to see if your balls can produce enough jizz. They're fucking terrible. That latter part is an exaggeration, but that's essentially what that machine is for. It's to test your vitality, your life force, your... And then you grab the sticks, and then they're like, ooh, you're in this part of the church. Couldn't it all be like, this machine is fucking stupid? Yeah, Scientology believes they were like the whole idea is that it's supposed to be, it's called Scientology because like it's supposed to be a scientific alternative to like, you know, fucking traditional structure. Um but like it's like the more you listen to them, the closer you get to reality. The more you like dive down their rabbit hole, the like, you know, the more enlightened you become. Like it's just a cult. And it's like, you know, fucking you'll live forever. So like build up your energies now and shit like that. It's like as long as you participate in the church in the way we want you to, you'll have a great like set of years after you're alive. It's fucking weird, man. It's fucking yeah. Kara says Thetans. Valor says the fact its symbol is a cross and they use the term church is insulting. Scientology is a cult. My dad told me. Yeah. So... there you go, Minty. That's what they believe. So there you go. Anyway, I'm glad y'all are here. I hope to see you next Saturday. But I think this was a relatively good stream, and I'm going to try to earn your viewership over the coming week. So, be well all, and smash the fucking state.